1.
LIN Gaoyuan starting off with a backhand flick receive, typical of the modern generation of Chinese table tennis players.
1-all.
Doesn't quite make contact there. Score is leveled, 1-all.
2-1.
There we have it.
3.
Backhand duels. It's possible we'll see a lot of that from LIN Gaoyuan, playing the parallel backhand when he can, trying to push ZHOU out to the forehand.
One, 4.
Good start for LIN Gaoyuan. However, it's still early
5-1.
off in the match. First game is often one where you try to get a feel for your opponent, try to find some decent tactics, what serve to use, what placement to play for. And although these players do know each other incredibly well, they still might have some aces up their sleeves.
5-2.
The look of focus, ZHOU.
3-5.
Once again, a backhand flick receive pays off, this time for ZHOU. 3-5. Changing up the placement there, ZHOU, serving the short forehand instead, possibly trying to avoid having that backhand flick played too.
6-4.
LIN Gaoyuan seemed prepared for that longer reverse pendulum service, much to the chagrin of ZHOU. Once again, backhand flick pays off. Not too many rallies thus far, but then again, service, receive, and third ball attack are the 3 most important strokes in table tennis.
5-7.
Impressive recovery from LIN Gaoyuan. Losing his distance a bit, but still managing to get back, play that backhand on the table, and keep ZHOU 2 points behind him. ZHOU once again trying to serve to the short forehand. This time doesn't pay off. His receive drifts just long outside the table.
8-6.
I think the ball caught off the edge of the table there. ZHOU apologizing. Lightning fast backhand off the bounce. ZHOU displaying his impressive backhand qualities. LIN Gaoyuan now just 1 point ahead.
7-9.
Changing up the placement there, LIN Gaoyuan, serving to the short forehand. Still got a flick from ZHOU, but he was prepared for it. Had a quick response. Lightning fast forehand to the deep forehand of ZHOU. Paid off. 9-7. Some nice directions there from LIN Gaoyuan, playing it parallel, both backhand and forehand. Seemed to catch ZHOU off guard just a little bit. Ooh.
11-7, game
What a
win.
response. LIN Gaoyuan played it parallel with his backhand, and once again, that was a clear winner. Takes home the first game 11-7, and we'll be back with game number 2 right after this. We're back with game number 2 of the first men's singles quarterfinals of the 2017 Swedish Open.
LIN to serve.
LIN Gaoyuan versus ZHOU, an all-Chinese affair. LIN Gaoyuan starting to serve in the second game.
Love 1.
ZHOU snatches the first point from LIN Gaoyuan, trying to level the score after losing the first game 7-11.
1-all.
LIN Gaoyuan seems to be fairly confident in his serves, playing it most of the time to the short forehand, probably trying to keep ZHOU's backhand flick under control.
1-2.
ZHOU looking a little bit dissatisfied there. One thing you might have noticed during the game pause was that neither of these players have their coaches with them. This is fairly common.
3-1.
Ooh, bounce off the edge there. But it is fairly common when players from the same country play against each other that they do so without the help of a coach. This applies to China as well as Germany, Sweden. Almost all nations do it this way.
3-2.
Once again, service to the short forehand. However, ZHOU was prepared and decided to receive with his forehand instead of going for the backhand flick, and that paid off.
2-4.
As of yet, this is a very service-received based game. We haven't seen too many rallies, but I guess that's what you would expect from two players who know each other as well as LIN Gaoyuan and ZHOU do as members of the Chinese national team. Once again, backhand flick pays off. LIN Gaoyuan, with his lightning fast feet, can move to the short forehand, do a backhand flick, and then be prepared for next ball deep to his backhand.
5-3.
There we have it, the backhand, well, I wouldn't say backhand punch, but it is a backhand slash, possibly, from ZHOU. Oh.
5-all.
Full of confidence there, service drifted just long, and ZHOU was not hesitant the least. He just pummeled it right onto the table. And here we see something different. LIN Gaoyuan going for the forehand receive on the service, not trying to utilize his backhand flick. Didn't pay off. ZHOU up 6-5.
6-all.
And for the second towel break of the game, the score is leveled at 6-all. For those of you a bit newer to table tennis, The players are allowed to use a towel to wipe off sweat both from their brows and from their hands every 6th point. So the score can be, for example, 3-3, 6-6, or 9-9.
7-6.
LIN Gaoyuan mixing it up a little bit, serving short to the deep backhand instead of the deep forehand. Paid off. 2 straight points, and now up 8-6. ZHOU to serve. Once again, backhand flick pays off. I wonder if anyone's keeping stats at home, because it feels to me like LIN Gaoyuan is using his backhand flick a lot to win the points early off in the rally. Now up 10-6, 4 game points for a 2-0 game lead. And LIN Gaoyuan just needed the one to win the second game. Now up 2-0. Let's see if ZHOU can manage a comeback. We'll be back with game number 3 right after this.
Den spelas mellan Fan Shandong från Kina och Quadri Aruna från Nigeria. Men nu alltså LIN Gaoyuan mot ZHOU och det står 2-0 till LIN Gaoyuan.
And we're back with game number 3 of the men's singles quarterfinal between China's ZHOU and LIN Gaoyuan.
Show to serve.
LIN Gaoyuan currently up 2-0 in games after an impressive display in the first 2. LIN Gaoyuan trying to start off as he's done in the previous games with a backhand flick. ZHOU was prepared this time. He's waiting in the forehand corner. Did a counter topspin, and it paid off. Switch up in service there, reverse pendulum to the middle of the forehand corner. LIN Gaoyuan's receive drifted high. Well, ZHOU's up to an impressive start in this third game. Up 3-0. His biggest lead so far. Up 4-0 now. Seems like he must have told himself something good during the game break. There we see once again the lightning fast footwork of LIN Gaoyuan. Always prepared to play a forehand, even if it's deep to his pocket. Impressive defense there from ZHOU. Stepping away from the table, prepared for that backhand flick from LIN Gaoyuan. There we have the previous point. The first one, and hitherto the only one that LIN Gaoyuan's won. And there we have the second point. Well-placed service, receive, drifting just high. LIN Gaoyuan seizing the opportunity. 5-3. ZHOU looking at his racket, shaking his head in disbelief. One thing to notice is that ZHOU plays with the red rubber on his forehand, which isn't all too common in China. Mostly we tend to see the black side on the forehand.
5-4.
And at the score of 5-4, ZHOU decides to use his timeout. Fairly early, one could say, but then again, he's down 0-2, and a 0-3 deficit is very hard to come back from. We'll see if ZHOU can manage a proper comeback right after this. And the players are back at the table. To those of you who just tuned in, welcome to the Seamaster 2017 ITTF World Tour Swedish Open men's singles quarterfinal. First match of the day between China's ZHOU and LIN Gaoyuan. LIN Gaoyuan currently up 2-0 in games. And ZHOU just used his timeout, trying to come back from from 3 consecutive point losses. Didn't seem to work out that well. 5-all.
5-6.
Went a little bit better this time. Still in the lead, 6-5 in the third game.
All.
Once again, a point for LIN Gaoyuan straight off the service. It seems as though LIN Gaoyuan is varying both the spin and the placement of his service a lot. It can be short to the deep forehand, short to the deep backhand, as we saw in game 2. Now a bit more to the middle. Hard for ZHOU to know where to position himself, since he wants to play that backhand flick. ZHOU stepping back from the table, but LIN Gaoyuan is not cowering back an inch.
7-all.
And the score is leveled at 7-all. LIN Gaoyuan was in the lead for the first time this game, but that didn't last for too long. Touch of the back edge of the table there, I think. LIN Gaoyuan apologizing quickly. ZHOU looking a bit surprised when that ball kicked away from the table. Ooh, the fade flick from ZHOU, showing that he's in no way gonna give this match up too easily. Score is leveled at 8-all in what could turn out to be a crucial game for ZHOU. LIN Gaoyuan playing his first attack to the middle of ZHOU. ZHOU not fast enough with his backhand. Ball drifted just long. Once again, a counter loop to the pocket of ZHOU pays off. LIN Gaoyuan now has 2 game points to enter a 3-0 game lead. ZHOU showing there that he's still here and he's still someone to count on for a fight for the win of game number 3. LIN Gaoyuan playing the reverse pendulum service to the short forehand. First time we've seen it this match, I think. But it didn't pay off. ZHOU was prepared. And now it's level, 10-all, 1 service each. Break of the top of the net for LIN Gaoyuan, playing the forehand flicks straight off the bounce. And the ball just touched the top of the net. ZHOU shaking his head in disbelief. LIN Gaoyuan apologizing. With the serve, LIN Gaoyuan now has his 3rd match point. Sorry, game point. It's best of 7, so a win here means a 3-0 lead.
11-all.
LIN Gaoyuan trying to play it parallel from his forehand, but there was too much spin in the backhand flick of ZHOU. Scores once again leveled, 11-all. And we hear ZHOU showing loudly, possibly for the first time this match. First game point for ZHOU. 11-12, LIN Gaoyuan to serve. And he only needed the 1, ZHOU. An impressive comeback. He started off the game 5-1, and then LIN Gaoyuan leveled it at 5-all. And in spite of being up 10-8 and 11-10, LIN Gaoyuan did not win the 3rd game. ZHOU did. So we're looking forward to a 4th game, which is coming up right after this.
Och därefter följer en herrsingelkvartsfinal. Då får vi ett serien från Danmark. Sen kommer en damsingelkvartsfinal och till sist en herrsingelkvartsfinal följt av damsingel med Ding Ding, regerande världsmästare. Men nu fjärde set, ZHOU, Liao.
So we're back with game number 4 of the men's singles quarterfinal between China's LIN Gaoyuan and ZHOU. And ZHOU wins the first point, perhaps a bit reborn with new confidence after winning game number 3, despite being down 8-10 and 10-11. Wins the second point as well. A little bit of trivia about ZHOU is that here at the Swedish Open, he is actually known as something of a comeback kid. I remember particularly one occasion in 2013 when ZHOU was down 0-8 against Swedish player Hampus Nordberg in the 7th game. And despite being down 0-8, he actually won that game and thus won the match 13-11. That was heartbreaking to see as a Swede, but an impressive display of mentality from ZHOU. And now he's up 3-0.
1-3.
LIN Gaoyuan showing there that he's still in the match, scoring his first point in this game. ZHOU playing a softer, spinnier shot, a bit higher as well, but it did pay off. He's up 4-1 now. Wow. Forehand rally. Both players staying fairly close to the table. And ZHOU finishing it off with a forehand topspin to the deep, deep forehand of LIN Gaoyuan. And despite being one of the fastest players on the tour, he didn't quite make it. Backhand topspin goes slightly low. Point for ZHOU, now up 6-1 in game number 4.
1-7.
LIN Gaoyuan is trying to play a little more spin, a little less speed there, but the ball drifted just long. ZHOU securing his lead there. He's up 6 points in game number 4. Now with the service.
9-2.
Playing it to the short forehand, LIN Gaoyuan breaking off the top of the net, but not making it onto the table. 9-2, and it does look as though this game will go in the favor of ZHOU. Now up to 10-2 with 8 game points for ZHOU to level the match at 2 games apiece. A little break off the top of the net there after a long service. LIN Gaoyuan apologizing. 7 game points to go for ZHOU. Forehand flick, drifts long, and ZHOU levels the match at 2 games apiece. Who would have thought that when LIN Gaoyuan was up 2-0 and 10-8? An impressive comeback from ZHOU. We'll see if he can maintain his current form in the 5th game as well, which we will be coming back to you with in a short while. And we're back with game number 5 of the men's singles quarterfinals between LIN Gaoyuan and ZHOU.
Show to serve, level.
ZHOU to serve. Starting off with a long reverse pendulum service to the backhand of LIN Gaoyuan. Paid off straight away. Once again, LIN Gaoyuan going for the backhand flick to the deep forehand of ZHOU. Ball breaking off the top of the net. LIN Gaoyuan apologizing. Impressive display there from both players. LIN Gaoyuan, the one to draw the longest straw there. We've seen this before, that ZHOU is backing away from the table the longer the rally progresses, while LIN Gaoyuan is standing firm close to the edge. ZHOU applying some pressure to the middle of LIN Gaoyuan. You can really tell when looking at a match like this that the players know each other incredibly well. Trying out lots of different services. Playing to the middle and to the deep forehand and backhand of each other. One can only wonder how much a game like this turns into a mental game. You know the player really well, you practice often. LIN Gaoyuan is now up 4-2 in game number 5. Possibly a crucial game, considering that LIN Gaoyuan got up to a fairly comfortable 2-0 lead. And then ZHOU made an impressive comeback in game number 3. Winning despite being down 8-10 and 10-11. And then just pummeling through game number 4, winning 11-3. Once again, LIN Gaoyuan gaining a bit of help from the net there. ZHOU quite obviously disappointed. And the speedy footwork of LIN Gaoyuan was not enough for that backhand punch down the line from ZHOU. There's always a risk when pivoting from the backhand corner to play the forehand that the next ball is going to wind up deep to the back to the forehand. Once again, we can see ZHOU varying the speed and spin when playing backhand and then forehand. Impressive there from LIN Gaoyuan. The service of ZHOU drifted just long, and LIN Gaoyuan was not late to seize the opportunity. ZHOU winding up way back from the table. Forced to lob. Trying to sort of predict where the ball's going to wind up. LIN Gaoyuan saw that ZHOU was stepping out to the forehand. Played parallel down to the backhand. ZHOU quite apparently still in this game. Now the second towel break of the match. We see here, receive. Really well placed, well played, parallel backhand topspin. But the forehand broke off the top of the net and drifted out. This is the kind of speed you get when you have China playing China. Imagine the reflexes required to do something like that. Truly impressive from ZHOU. Now down 1.67.
8-6.
LIN Gaoyuan, bit of touchy-feely there. Played the fade flick to the middle of ZHOU. Scored him a point and secured his lead. Now up 2 points, 8-6.
Play, please.
I think LIN Gaoyuan's receive there drifted just long, bounced off the white part of the table, surprising ZHOU. A little bit of luck, but that's all in the game. LIN Gaoyuan now up 10-6, 4 game points to secure a 3-2 games lead. The big question is, can ZHOU stage a comeback once again, as he did in game number 3. Well, I can imagine he's intent on trying to. That's 1 game point saved from ZHOU. 3 to go.
Oh. 10-8.
Now up to 8-10. LIN Gaoyuan still got 2 game points left when it's time for the 3rd towel break of the match. Can't help but wonder, if LIN Gaoyuan loses this point, will we see a timeout?
10-9.
It doesn't seem that way. LIN Gaoyuan seems intent on playing the next point as per usual. Last game point. ZHOU does it once again. He levels the score at 10-all. You can almost feel the tension on the court right now. Both players realizing this is a crucial game. ZHOU with a well-placed, low-touch shot builds up for the forehand topspin. Play to the deep forehand of LIN Gaoyuan. ZHOU now with his 1st game point in game number 5. Can he stage a comeback once again? LIN Gaoyuan showing some nerves there. Even though one of ZHOU's strokes broke off the top of the net, LIN Gaoyuan was prepared, waited for the opportunity, and then struck. Score is leveled at 11-all. I think ZHOU accidentally hit his bat on the table there. Didn't matter since he missed the receive. LIN Gaoyuan now with his 5th game point in game number 5. And once again, a backhand flick that breaks off the top of the net and drifts long. We're now arriving at the 4th towel break of the match. Not too common, only when it's deuce do we see a 4th towel break. ZHOU risking it a little bit there with a long reverse pendulum service to the backhand. Didn't pay off this time. LIN Gaoyuan seemed well prepared and now has his 6th game point. We saw LIN Gaoyuan there trying to serve from the middle instead of from the backhand. But that didn't scare ZHOU, who leveled it once again, 13-all. LIN Gaoyuan managed to win that point. And now comes the timeout. A bit late, but better late than never, eh? We'll see if LIN Gaoyuan has some ace up his sleeve and can win this 5th game when he has his 7th game point. We'll be back right after the timeout is finished. Time to see if LIN Gaoyuan's timeout worked its magic. He has his 7th game point in game number 5, up 14-13.
14-13.
A little bit of luck for ZHOU there. LIN Gaoyuan playing the long, fast service to the backhand, and ZHOU just getting it on the table with a little bit of help from the net. Once again, it's leveled, 14-all. And now ZHOU has his 3rd game point, if memory serves me well. At this stage of the game, it's hard to remember all the points. They've almost played 30 at this point.
16-14 game.
And once again, ZHOU proves that he is a proper comeback kid. He wins the 5th game 16-14. One can't help but wonder if LIN Gaoyuan will be able to recover from this losing the game despite having a total of 7 game points. We'll be back with game number 6 right after this.
LIN Gaoyuan har vid 2 tillfällen haft 10-4 i skilje och inte klarat av det. Senast var mot Timo Boll. Kanske satt någonting kvar där i huvudet. Men nu alltså 3-2 i set till ZHOU.
And we're back with game number 6 of the men's singles quarterfinals between China's LIN Gaoyuan and ZHOU. ZHOU off to the best start. This is a match that has gone back and forth quite a bit. LIN Gaoyuan started off strongly, won the first 2 games 11-6, 11-7. Then ZHOU managed to stop talking there mid-sentence, but what are you going to do when you see table tennis like this? Impressive display from both players. LIN Gaoyuan playing his backhand off the bounce with a little help of the net. He won that point and leveled the score at 1-all. From the looks and sound of it, LIN Gaoyuan has in no way forfeited this match. Seems intent on bringing it home. As much home as you can talk about when it's China versus China, I guess. Soft spinny shot with the backhand parallel. The forehand of LIN Gaoyuan pays off for ZHOU. Players thus far consistently winning 1 point apiece.
2-3.
The forehand top spin does it for ZHOU. It's now 3-2 in game number 6 and 3-2 in games for ZHOU.
3-all.
fooled by the spin of the LIN Gaoyuan service there. Receive drifted high, and LIN Gaoyuan was not late for the party. Some Chinese fans there. Possibly torn between the two players. Who are you going to root for? Do you like the best? Both are left-handed players.
4-3.
ZHOU mixing it up a bit, a little bit of a higher toss and longer service. Paid off. Once again, one of the players is able to win the point with the assistance of the net. A previous recipe for success for LIN Gaoyuan, playing the backhand topspin to the middle of ZHOU. Paid off now as well. Trailing 1 point behind now.
6-4.
Half long receive. Second bounce just outside of the edge of the table. Difficult to read for LIN Gaoyuan.
7-4.
ZHOU now up 3 points in game number 6, which means that he's 4 points away from scoring a place in the semifinals.
5-7.
Going by the world ranking, it's a pretty big upset if ZHOU managed to win this match. Currently ranked number 42 in the world. LIN Gaoyuan is 35 places his senior at the world ranking, that is. He's 4 years younger, but it's still somewhat of an upset.
5-8.
And ZHOU, as I've told you before, is something of a comeback kid, so we shouldn't discount the possibility. Now up 8-5 in the 6th game. Crucial net ball there for ZHOU. Now with 2 serves, up 9-5.
10-5.
And now he has 5 match points. ZHOU rescuing in game number 3 and game number 5 a total of 10 game points. Now he has 5 match points of his own.
6-10.
And it appears as though he will be needing more than 1 to take home the match. LIN Gaoyuan now with the serve, down 6-10. And there we have it. The backhand rally goes in the favor of ZHOU, who wins the match. Somewhat of an upset. ZHOU wins it 4-2 against world number 7 and this year's winner of the Asian Cup, LIN Gaoyuan. Next up, we have world number 2, Fan Jiandong, playing one of the bigger surprises of this tournament, Quadri Aruna from Nigeria. We're looking forward to that match coming up in just a few short minutes. My name is Magnus Melander. I'll be your guide for the next match as well. I'll see you then.